Well, hello everyone. We did a little test. I think we got it all finagled out. You should be able to hear me. You should barely, if anything, be able to hear music. Um, but at least you can hear me. That's the important thing. So we are going to get our mandala. You can't hear me. You can see my mouth moving, but no sound. Okay, well, I can hear myself on my mother's phone. Grandma Snail is walking out of the office, but I can hear. So I'm wondering if it's your sound, Tate. Oh, you're a brat. Did you hear Mom laughing? God. You know how worried I've been about that, you dork. Yeah, ha 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 ha. Yeah, funny, funny, funny boy, funny boy. I don't know what I'm gonna do with you. Alright. Yeah, you got me alright. You know how anxious I get. I gotta make sure it works. Okay, I'm going the wrong way. Okay, so now that Tate's got my heart rate up, thanks a lot, buddy. Can't believe you did that to me. I even went early just so I could make sure and do a quick test. Try to get it all working. Where's the cam? What cam? I'm gonna stop listening to you. I'm not talking to you. Okay, well, I see me, and I see everything else. I see the mandala. I see my camera in the corner. Reboot. That's what techies always tell you, right? So here's the mandala. Octopus. I know, I'm not listening to you no more. You got me once. I'm gonna quit. Not gonna believe you no more. Got me all freaked out and shit. You are in a mood. Note to self, ignore Tate tonight. I had Grandma Snail in here with her phone so that I could see how it translated with volume and everything. I don't always ignore you. I usually listen to you. But you're being a little rascal tonight. So I'm putting my, almost want to call them nipple clamps, because that's kind of about where they're going. But I do not want a binder clamp there, so the binder clamps have Velcro on them so that I can Velcro my rig, as I call it, onto me so it doesn't move around. So I have no idea what I was doing the other day, so I need just a moment to stare at my design and figure it out. Yeah, isn't he he's a riot, isn't he, Grandma Snail? Man, he did get me good, brat. Okay, we are doing. If you don't have one of these and you're a stitcher, get one. It is a twisty color pencil. They're pretty cool. They twist out, but they allow you to color in your design so that you oh, ha ha, running tree, thank you for the subscribe. 3 months, nice. I appreciate that. Got my tier 1 subscribe for 3 months from Running Tree. Thank you for joining me and supporting the stream. Wow, that's pretty good. That you make sub number 3. I'm very excited. I'm not quite sure what that. Well, that's Yeah, I was gonna say that's my kid, so uh, it's very sweet of him to spend his money on his mother. I don't know what that does yet, though, so I'm still new. I don't know what that translates. I figured out bits are 1 cent. For each one bit that I get, it's 1 cent of income. So that I at least figured out. Um, but I'm not sure what the. Oh, for each sub you get 250-ish. Okay. See, I haven't found that answer put out. Um, hey, it's Knox. Hey, Knox. The Knox bot has arrived. Well, no one's made me any. Um, I'm just kind of coloring at the moment the things that I got done last time because when I finished streaming, I just left down here and got food. So I didn't color in all the stuff that I got done. And before I start, I now have to indicate what that stuff was so I know what the hell I'm doing tonight. Um, so, uh, yeah, nobody's made me any emotes, and I haven't got that far because, let's face it, I just made affiliate, and I'm still trying to figure all this fun stuff out. But we are going to be working the Mandala Octopus in just a moment tonight. I just need to have a few moments to get myself in line to start working. I'm not doing an excellent job, just kind of a quick. I'll do the OCD job later. But we got quite a bit done actually the last time I'm seeing. We got those, we did the pinks. Oh, I know where we're at because we got this. We're working up in the top corner with our pastel purples. We did a lot of the. So we did 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. There's 1, 2, and that's where we stopped. And I had, looks like we have 4 more rows to go on that section. And did we do anything up there? Yeah, I finished up his head. Okay. Still not fixed. Well, you know, I'm not in any hurry. I'm not going anywhere for a while. Um, I'm enjoying doing my stitching, talking to my people who come and hang out with me. Yep, I got those pinks in. Oh, I said I was done with pinks. And see, this is why you do this. This is why you color in your sections. Because by doing this, I realized there is a section of pink that still needs to be done. I did the 4 pink dots in the center here, which is absolutely right. But there is some more pink in this area. So I need to take care of that. Yep. Okay, so I've now. Oh, nope, there's one other spot over here. I did that. Okay. Screen reflection. Let's see. It ate. Yes, they are blue. Yeah, my lights up here are blue tinted. And you're right, it does help with my eyes. I was really worried because I have photophobia, and bright lights for a certain period of time will actually give me a very bad headache, so I was stressing about that. Tate was right, he said just use the blue light. So I put it up there, and I've streamed for 2.5 hours without a problem. So not gonna complain there. So I'm gonna put my actually it's gonna be a neck stabber. That probably not be a good idea. Okay, so there's my needle. That feels about right. I get my silicone finger on and my middle finger, because that's where it goes. Alright, and like I said, I found some more pink, so we are going to pull this pink out, because we gotta finish that. We can't have that hanging like that. I know my butler didn't tell me to drink, but I'm dying. So. Okay, I'm on schedule. Alright. Who needs a butler? I was just really thirsty. Alright, so we've got our pink, and we are putting our thread together, getting our needle, we're doing our lick and stick to get our needle loaded up. Okay, we are locked and loaded. And again, we're doing our loop lock. So we have a loop here. I will put out the disclaimer. If you are, and I know if you've been here before, you've heard me say it, but it is very important. If you ever plan on showing your piece, do not, I repeat, do not do this lock stitch, because the fiber gods who watch these, judge these events, please say that's thread, they know that the fibers are going in different directions. I think that's floss. It looks discolored on that fabric, but alright, where's that pink? Boop, 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 clear over here. And is this right? It looks right. So I am going to go ahead and get this locked in, which means I have to flip over to the back. We're gonna pull, but before our loop goes through, I'm going to stick my needle through, pulling, which makes it lock into place. But again, if you are going to be showing your piece, do not do this. Now I am moving my camera around. It may end up being in my face at some point, so I apologize. I'm trying to get the lighting. Okay, I think I'm ready. Are you gonna go and have that looked at? Beat Saber, be cautious where you put your stuff. You will hit things if it is within your zone. Like Knox here, who punched a cabinet. And lucky he didn't break his controller. So we're doing, looks like we're doing 3. Gonna get it looked at today. Yeah, hopefully it is just a bruise. There's not a whole heck of a lot they can do if it's like your fingers. They may cast, or if it's in your hand, they might cast it to set it. But, hopefully you can just wear a brace or something. Sorry. Still trying to get my rig to act right. Okay, so we are going to continue. I feel like I'm crooked. Hold on. I think I need to move my clamps. I'll be pissed if I actually clip myself here. Okay. Sorry guys, my fabric is getting loose, so I'm trying to tighten it too. Every now and then with the Q-snap you have to just go around and twisting the edge towards me just a little bit. Okay. I have to move this one in more. You'll know if I clip myself. I will scream. You can see these are my clamps. They have Velcro on them. And then on the other side is the Velcro pads. I just set it on there. I'm like the cigarette lady in those old time shows. So we are going to go ahead and... That doesn't look too bad. This looks like this goes over past the end. And I am in camera, so that's good. So I hope everybody had a good weekend. It's Sunday for me. I think it's Monday for the Australians, or soon to be Monday. Never remember. Oh, I went one too far because I said to the end. Then I'm going to go up and do 2. But I just work tomorrow, so nothing major. And then Tuesday, the doggo's got to go to the vet because I don't know if you heard, they had some lively action in the backyard with 2 raccoons. We found 2 raccoon carcasses back there. That was fun. Poor Grandma Snail had to go out and bag those up. But the girls, they had fun, obviously, protecting their territory. Doing 5 stitches here. This looks like this will be another tentacle tail. And this is 4 and 5. Anybody want to share what they spent their time doing? I know I played Beat Saber at 1 o'clock in the morning with Knox and Goose. And then this one will go 1, 2, 3 out from there. Yeah, there was some more of that green. Huh. You never know where the design is going to take you sometimes, because you really do want a foundation before you start going out into counting way far out. 1, 2, 3. But this is the end of my day, so I get to finish it out stitching, and then I will probably, I don't know, might read. I did stitching on the Sun and Moon project earlier today. I'm going to be posting, well, I posted in my Discord already. I always post the beginning of every month so you can see the progress from you know, the month prior. So I posted February 1's picture to basically March 1, and there was not a lot of progress, but I worked on it some today, so we'll see some more progress when I post the April 1 photo. But if you want to join the Discord, and you can see all the projects, well, not even all of them, but a lot of the projects that I've done. Some of them are big, have taken years. Some of them are small, like ornaments and bookmarks and, you know, smaller things. I have sections for crocheters, cross stitchers, all kinds of fun stuff. But it looks like my butler's on cue, and put the Discord link in there. And this is the last of the pink. And I almost missed it because I hadn't colored everything in. So I should probably wonder what that color is. Let's see what this next color is. Attaching. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. I think I need to stick to the process here. So we're going to run this under. This is the pink. We are now done with the pink, I believe. Until I find another one here or there. And it may come to a point that there's like one stitch missing, and instead of me putting in just one stitch, if there's a color near it, I'll just put it in, instead of running under for just one stitch. So that is the pink. Stab that in my chest here, and I think we're doing the pastel purple. We're going to finish that out. Let me get my pencil going here. So I finished that one. Like I said, I'm just doing quick lines. I will color it in later. But I seem to be getting this a little bit confused here, so we're going to take care of that first. Okay, we are going to get that pastel purple out. And it is okay, here we go. I thought that looked like it. Yep. So we are going to go ahead and unwind a long slew of this. Well, maybe not. Yeah, a little long, because I see some. And I noticed another area where I actually did half stitches, and I never came back and stitched them over again. So we're not going to cut all the threads. There are 6 threads in each string. We're going to clip one, and I'm going to pull it, and you're going to see the thread accordion, and then when it gets to the end, it'll just kind of pop out. It's going to pop out, and then I will just rewrap it. And put it back in my floss box. And when I'm all done with this project, it'll go back into my main stash, which has just about every DMC floss color there is. Okay, needle. We're doing another lick and stick. Get our needle loaded for this last part, second to the end part of the pastel. Again, we're doing another loop lock. I've bent the fabric or the floss in half to make a loop. So as we come over here, you can see the pastel stripes. We are going to continue with that. We have 4 more rows to do. We had a good stopping point the other night. And I think now we are going down one instead of the diagonal as we were the ones above. I'm going to flip this over. We're going to get our loop, and I'm going to stick my needle in and lock it into place. I am probably going to continue with the way I was doing it the other night, which is the, I think I have these up too high. Hold on just a second. Too high, and I feel like I'm reaching up above me. Okay, so we are going to, it has ends direct, okay, we're going to lose our thread, so we're going to have to flick and stick and reload our needle again, and try that again. So the first one we just kind of put through there, and we're not going to cross it, but the next one we're going to cross. And then every one we're going to do this. That way when we're coming back, we don't have our stitches going the same every time. And the other thing is I come up at the bottom left and I go down at the top right, and then I come up at the top right, go down at the bottom left. The reason is, instead of going, basically if I would have come up here, I would have gone over, run the thread 2 sections, whereas here I'm only going diagonal 1, so I'm using less floss this way. I know in the grand scheme of things it's pretty minuscule, but as you're doing it, it adds up, especially when you get to the end of that row and you almost can make it, but then you find out, oh man, I can't finish those last 2 stitches. I just don't have enough floss, and that could have been one of your saving points. So we are going to continue, and this ends at the bottom underneath our last stitch in this row here. So we are going to go ahead and do one more stitch, check, we're going to count how many this is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I'm going to count on the fabric, or the design. 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 2. That is 9. Grid lines are great. They're set up on a 10 by 10 grid. So the heavy lines are put these big block squares that you can more easily count and determine where things are. You can even buy fabric, and actually I was going to show earlier in some of the streams I talked about finding a Santa pattern that the Santa didn't look pissed off or deformed, and so I jumped on it because it's really kind of hard to find those Santa patterns, or at least one that I wanted to actually do. So I finally found one, and I bought it, and it will, I have to finish the sun and moon first, and then it'll be next on my to-do list. But the fabric that I got with that actually has grid lines on it, and when you wash the fabric, those grid lines will actually disappear. So it's helpful. I haven't decided whether I'm going to use their fabric or my own yet. I mean, because in the grand scheme of things, it's a full stitch, so you're not going to see the fabric at all when I get done. So I'm thinking I'll probably just go ahead and use the fabric that they gave me. I mean, it could probably be red fabric and you'd never know. I mean, it's not red fabric, but, you know, could be. Alright, so we end here. And we'll work our way back up, and we have 2 more rows. And then we are done with this purple in this section. Looks like we're going to have some blues in here too. That should be interesting. Carry some of that blue over, hopefully. We'll look around and see if we have, well, I know we have a little bit of this pastel. I didn't cross these over here, so I have to go back and finish my crossings. I kind of went down and then came back up and ran out of floss and stopped. So this one again will be a diagonal. And then we are going to go down and end right next to where the row before it ended. Okay, so this is going actually pretty quick. We're already down to the end of that row. And we will be stopping here. I'm going to go ahead. There are some stitches going up the next direction. I'm going to go ahead and just go up that row. And you can do, I could have done back and forth the whole way, but I'm going to at this end spot here. And I have to do 4, and then that's it. Just because it's lined up there, so it's kind of easy. And then when I get done Xing these, I will run this under, and we will take our drink. And I'll have to get another, likely get another piece of floss out to X, to X those other stitches. I'm not going to have enough. So this is our Mandala octopus. He's very colorful. He likes to swim in the ocean with his friends. He has 9 brains. Believe it or not, that's actually a thing. Okay, we've got 1 more stitch to X, and we are done with this section. It's kind of neat having that gritty line kind of going on, especially, I wonder what color's in there. It is, oh. I'm wondering if I made a mistake, but if I did, I'm going to ignore it. As far as my color selection, as I believe I was saying, I was doing Sea Mist, and it should have been Azure blue. I don't know. So I'm gonna run under. I'll find out when I get over there. We are going to run under at least 4. You could do 5 or 6. I like to do about 5, sometimes a little more, but I don't usually do less than 4. And we are going to go ahead and get the floss back out, cut one more string of this purple so I can finish up the purple completely. It's kind of nice to say, we've completely finished this color or that color. So again, this is the one we already clipped one strand off. I can see my clipped in. I'm gonna try to get another one and clip it as close to that same size. We're going to pull out our string, let the accordion flow, and then rewrap and put it back in our floss box. Okay, there we go. And this should be the last stitches for this color. We are doing the lock again on this. But first we are going to get our ends together. Lick and stick. You get the eye of the needle on the right side. And there we go. We are locked and loaded and ready to go. And we are going to be working in an area that we've already been in, but I did not finish the Xing. So I did half of the stitches, but not the other half. It's a very small area, so it shouldn't take long. But you put half of it in. I have to check that out there. And we are going to catch the loop with our needle. I have something that's bothering me, so I'm trying to figure it out. There's like a little, I'll look on the back here, a little bit of blue. Okay, so there is no blue coming out there, so that means I'm going to take my tweezers, grab that little piece of fiber and get it out from underneath of there because it was standing out on that magenta. Okay, so we got our one in, and we're going to go ahead and finish Xing these. And I don't even have to really look at the pattern at all because they're already halfway put in. I just needed to run back through and finish them up. Then we got to figure out what color we're going to do next. I think we should probably work on finishing some of the colors we've already got in that we couldn't reach before. So we had to stop until we got our landmarks in. You know, at the end of some of these tentacles, we have some orange. Well, the orange is already in other places, but we couldn't, well, we could have counted out, but just for safety purposes and counting to make sure that we didn't miscount, you kind of wait till you have a foundation and get out there and then stitch it later. So I think we'll probably end up doing that. We're going to finish these last 10, 15 stitches. And we did have to pull out some of the dark purple, so we will actually That's on the list to put in. I see some magenta, which I actually have one stitch I have to put in. Somehow I missed crossing one stitch. Gotta love it. Happens to the best of us. Quiet group tonight. But like I said, for the most part, I can entertain myself, and I'm enjoying doing my octopus here. He's actually starting to really turn out. I love this over here. And we still have a few more stitches to do in this section. Couldn't see where I had to put the needle down. There we go. I'm actually a little bit tired tonight, and I've been getting more sleep than normal. See, I've been streaming for 45 minutes. And I usually do about 2 hours, sometimes more. I think I cut out of here a little bit, like 10 minutes early last night. But I hadn't had dinner, I was hungry. Okay, so this is the last stitch for our pastel purple. And I'm going to run that under. There's a lot of thread. Going to clip that close, not too close, because we kind of want to keep those stitches that we just put in. And I'll stab that in my thing there. And we are going to see what we can fill in here. So, we finish those. Okay, so to fill in, well, let's go ahead and jump for some of the orange. And that would be this color. Let's see if I have any. Nope. So we are going to go ahead and take some of this orange out. And the strand's already been cut off of as well. But this is the easiest way to kind of keep your floss together. So I'm going to again pull out, and it's going to make this accordion in the bottom. That's going to spring. As soon as I get that out of there, and I will go ahead and rewrap it for the next time I need a piece. Just kind of keeps your floss clean. I could cut that whole strand off, unwrap the whole strand, pull one out, and then rewrap the whole strand, but it's attached this way and it doesn't go anywhere, and I just take off what I need. So we are now lined up. Lick and stick and reload our needle. There we go. We got our loop, and we got a couple orange sections here to do, and they are of course at the end of tentacles. This one is even with this, but it's out one. So we're going to go ahead and start this. Flip it and catch our loop. See, we got our needle through the loop, and as we pull, it's going to lock it into place there. Okay. That's a lot of colors. Yes, it is, Carnage. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for popping in. Sorry, I'm very thirsty. So we are going back around now that most of our tentacles are dropped down far enough. I have enough of a foundation that I can continue filling in some of those colors we had to skip because there was nothing in the area. Alright, you get a lot of work done. Take your to-do list down. I appreciate you popping in and saying hi to me, though. Especially considering I saw you this morning. Now it's my evening. We will try to have a good stream. Get lots of stitching done. So we are bringing our orange in. Hi, divorced uncle. This is a dope piece. Thank you very much. This is a Mandala octopus. You can see what he looks like. He's pretty cool. I like color, so that's kind of why he drew me to him. Thank you very much. If you like, you can click that follow button and know whenever I'm stitching. I usually stitch on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And this is a only online stitching piece. So I will only be stitching this on this piece when I am online. Thank you very much for clicking that and following. I appreciate that. We are, you should get notifications now. There is no background color, just him. I'm not sure I would want a background color. I think if I was going to go with a background, I'd probably just make sure that the fabric was that background color. Yeah, and that's kind of where I was going with that. But if I did want a background color, I would just make sure that my fabric was that color. That way I wouldn't have to stitch it all. But you could stitch it all. I mean, nothing wrong with that. A lot of floss. Do you stitch it all? We're doing kind of a stair-step thing here. You want to get into it. Well, I think that's great. You might want to start with a printed to get your feet wet, and then move up to the counted. But I moved to the counted pretty quickly. Fantastic. Well, we definitely like hanging out with other stitchers, and there's a, if you do the exclamation point and type Discord right next to it, that will be, that's my Discord, so you can, I've got different sections for different crafts, and you can post your pictures in there, or see the pictures of others. Most of mine is what's in there now. We are just starting up. I've only been streaming for about a month now. My butler will pop in and put that up eventually. I think my mods are all gone. My Insta-link is broken. Well, I'll have to check on that. Oh, it helps if you have your pointer in the right box. Okay, so I'll have to check my links after stream. That should be the link to Discord. Hopefully that will work. It's supposed to be a never-ending link. If it does not, please let me know. But that will link you to my Discord, and you can see under the cross-stitch section all kinds of pictures of completed items that I've stitched. I did a mandala snail. This is from Awesome Pattern Studios. They are on Etsy, and they have a whole lot of mandala animals that you can check out. So if you have a favorite animal, they probably have it. The biggest piece I've ever done. Probably the one that I'm working on now. I'm working on a sun and moon. I'm actually, from the way it's stitched, it's supposed to be a smaller piece, but for every one stitch I'm doing a block of 4. So I'm actually quadrupling the size. I actually posted pictures in the Discord today of where I am on that. I started, every month I post pictures showing the progress. It is, I think it's going to be about a 16 by 16 inch circle. But the original size was just too small. And in fact, it might be 17 by 17. Yeah, but it's a little hard to keep track of, so you got to be careful. Because for every one stitch, you have to make sure you're doing a block of 4. And I've done a few pretty large ones. I did a Technicolor fish, and it was difficult because it was so many colors, and it's a rectangle, you know, up and down. I don't know how big it is. I think it's longer than 15. I think it's probably closer to 20, but the width is about 15, so it might be one of my bigger ones. I did a peacock needlecraft fair, and it got 2nd place. And I did a snake as well for my son, and it got 2nd place. So I'm pretty proud of those pieces. But I adore my Technicolor fish, because again, I like color. So we finished the orange here. There is, looks like only one other place of orange. It is in this area. And this is not going to be enough floss, so I am going to go ahead and get another piece out. Because I'm going to have to do it anyhow. So I'm just going to do it now and start with a loop lock. And since you are here, Uncle, I'm going to show you this loop lock, which I do, but I want to stress the disclaimer. If you ever believe that you are going to show a piece, do not use this. Good. You missed I needed a Discord put in. I got it. Odd. The reason is, okay, so a piece of floss, right, is it all goes in one direction. So usually everything that you stitch has 2 ply. Every strand, when you pull this off, there are 6 ply, 6 strings in each piece. You pull out how many ply you need for the piece. Usually it's 2 ply, which means you have 2 strands running in the same direction. It in half, now it's going another direction on the other side. And the fiber gods who judge these events, I don't know how they tell, I can't tell, but they can tell when you've done this, and they will deduct points. I do not plan on entering this. It's a small piece. I would only enter big pieces anyhow. I don't plan on entering this anywhere. This is just going to hang in my bedroom. I have an ocean theme going on in there, so this is never going to be shown. So this is the loop lock. We are going to first find out. So as I showed you, I bent it in half. So what we have is on the end, we have this loop. I don't know if you can see it. Let's get it on some. So we got this loop. And we are going to find out where we're going to go. It looks like our first stitch will be here. We will come up, not come all the way through, go down where we need to. Now we have this loop on the back. I'll get it in. I am going to take my needle and go through the loop, which is going to lock it in place on the back. This is the easiest thing I've ever found, and unfortunately it took like 30 years before anybody showed me this. I just learned it 2 years ago. Usually you run it under already stitched pieces because you have a cut in. So you run it under about 5 stitches. What colors do I got? Okay, I have, it is a great trick. Okay, so Knox has redeemed choose a color. Of the colors I have, we have our dark purple. I have a small section of that. I have, what color is this? Wisteria violet. That goes the other direction. I have sand gold, which we have not done any of. The hashtag. That is storm blue. I have some yellow left. Upside down triangle. Lagoon turquoise. Square. Pale moss green. I think that I do have a little tiny bit of magenta left to do. And it looks like an azure blue. Oh, there's an X too. Hold on. That is sea mist blue. So we got a lot of colors left, but they're usually in the blue colors here. So here's our gold I finally found. Do you have a color I pick? Well, that just defeats the whole purpose. You're supposed to be picking. Let's see our turquoise. That's a little different. I think we had that solid as 160. There's that green. Okay, so divorced uncle gets to pick. I'll keep pulling out the other colors. You like the yellow. Okay, well, this is the yellow. Oh, this one right here? That one. Okay, so it looks like we are doing, oh, the new one? This one here. Okay, we will work on that color then. I will remove these from the field of view. Since we just started, I'm going to go ahead and just pull this out. We will come back to that later. And we're gonna, this will actually, there's quite a number of pieces or areas with this, and it would be another filling color, so this actually works very well. So we are unwrapping. Oh. And we're going to go ahead and lock it in here. Now I could cut this whole piece if I wanted to, but I can just run my scissors under, because remember there are 6 strands. Run my piece under, get back in camera focus here. Tease out one, and then I'm going to pull that strand. It will accordion on the bottom. It's gonna knot, so, and then it's going to boing out, and then I'm just gonna put it to the side because I know I'm gonna need that, so I'm not gonna wrap that up again. There's quite a bit of yellow to do. We are going to do another loop lock, so I'm going to put my ends together. Lick and stick. Load our needle up, and why did we not use the full 6 strand? You never really use the full 6 strand. Usually you use 2 ply. Sometimes you can use 3 ply if you want a puffier or thicker coverage. 6 strand. You can see how thick this is. It's pretty thin. A full 6 strands. I'm going to use this piece since it's a full 6. You see how thick it is. And I'll put them side by side so you can see the difference. So this is going to make a huge difference on your piece. It's going to make it bulkier, as well as if you're working on something like linen. You're going to really be pushing the threads and the fibers of the fabric. You notice there are holes. This is actually called Aida fabric. It is what I prefer to stitch on, but I am learning more linen items. But the Aida has these kind of preset holes at different intervals. And there's just, you could most certainly use 6 if you wanted. I think it would be too bulky, especially look at the coverage with 2. You are covering the fabric pretty completely with 2. You can use 3. I've not really seen anyone use more than 3. Not that you can't. It would kind of be a trial and error depending upon what it is you wanted to do. If you're doing some embroidery, you might want a thicker number of strands to add a certain matter of detail or puffiness. Yeah, normally you have to strip your strings out to get them the number of strands that the piece you're working on calls for. So we are working yellow. There's actually some yellow down here where we just put our orange in, so we'll go down there. And we are going to start here. Again, I'm going to go ahead and come up where I wanted to come up, go down where I want to go down, catch my loop. And again, let me pull it closer so you guys can see it. So there's my loop. I'm going to put my needle through it and lock it into place. And then we are ready to stitch. There's just a small section here, so it's nothing major, and then we will run it under and jump to the next area. You can see this actually with this orange is going to add a very nice transition, almost a shading. It's pretty close. But this tentacle kind of comes around and loops. Yeah, this is the outside of the tentacle, and it will wrap around and then it comes out. And okay, so I made a mistake, and I will call it out. And I'm not going to frog, which is rip it, where you rip stitches out. So I have a choice. I can take some orange and add half a stitch, because I have missed half a stitch. I crossed one way, but when I came back, I neglected to cross the other direction. What I am going to choose to do, however, is when I come back, I am going to just exit with this yellow. And it will end up being more of a yellowish stitch than anything. I'm okay with that in this area, and with it being a Mandala snail, or octopus. Now I have a knot. Boy, you just get everything. You come in, I get a knot, I've stitched wrong. So usually when you get a knot, you find a loop and stick your needle through, and if you pull, usually that takes it out, which it did. We try to work in lines and in one direction, so if we're going left to right, we want to make sure that we are continuing to go left to right. You don't want to go left to right and then up and down. You can see the transition. If you're doing a small area, usually it doesn't matter so much. So then you can do that. But when you're doing, boy, I'm not sure. You're here. I'm getting all kinds of knots all of a sudden. So I'm finding a loop, and I'm just kind of pulling. Please don't leave. That's not you, trust me. So I'm just kind of pulling in a few different areas. I've reached the extent of what that loop will do. I'm going under a different loop area, and that pulled it right out. Okay, so what is happening? See all this twisting that's going on? From stitching, it causes your thread to twist. So what we want to do is we are going to twirl our needle in the opposite direction. When we pull, there's still some twisting going on. You can see the looping. I'm going to twist my needle again and pull, and you see how it's just kind of come out. that is going to decrease the knotting. So obviously I had too much twist in there, and that caused me multiple knots. Oh, I need to take a drink. Yeah, and I'm not doing this on purpose either. It's just truly, you came at a good time where everything started happening. So this next row, I am jumping up to do 4. You'll notice I'm only doing half stitches. Coming up at the bottom left, going down the top right. This is the first arm of a cross stitch. The second arm would be when I come back the other direction. We have one little stitch up here, so I'm going to jump up and grab it. And then I'm going to complete the stitch. We also have one stitch diagonal in this corner. I feel like I have like strings on my face, fibers. We're going to go ahead and complete that stitch because they're just kind of out there on their own. We're going to come back and X these 3 as we're working our way back to where we started. But remember, I said I jumped up here. I did not finish the row underneath. So I have one more stitch to put in here. And like I said, with a piece this size and all these short rows, you can kind of jump around a little bit. That if you were working a big block, a big section, if I did this, it would actually cause directional, you could actually see the directional shift. Yes, so first I'm crossing one direction, usually from left to right, and then the way back I'm crossing the opposite direction from right to left. And that is why it's called cross stitch. We are crossing our stitches. So I'm jumping down now because I have 2 stitches below. So I'm going to go ahead and pick those up. Now I want you to notice as I pull through, what do you see? You see some twisting of that thread, which means I'm going to have to untwist or I may get a knot coming up. And we don't want that. And that's just inherent from stitching as you twist the needle. Nope. I do get cross when I have to frog it, and I have gotten really angry when I've put something in and it doesn't line up. How do you cross stitch the outer edge parts? Not quite sure I understand the question. Every stitch is an X. Even on the, here's the outer edge of this pattern. So the outer edges of these patterns are all X's as well. So I'm not quite sure if I'm understanding your question. You always have room on the fabric. Before you ever start a piece, you look at the piece and see how much, what the size of the piece is going to be. So like this piece is going to be 7.31 inches by 5 inches. You are going to add 3 inches onto your length and width of fabric. So this fabric is actually, I think it's 11 inches, but you're going to add 3 inches onto the 7.31, giving you 10.31, and 3 inches onto the 5, giving you 8. The reason you do that is because when you frame anything, you're going to have 1.5 inches of material. That is the bare bones minimum you ever want to do. For safety's sake, 6 inches is best. That way you have 3 inches on each side. That allows you not only space to put, to have space for matting, but as well as wrapping around on the back of a frame. So, if you have a 7.31, yes, you're bad, Tate. Bad boy. So if you are trying to be serious here, you're really sidetracking me. So this piece is 7.31. We're going to add 6 inches. That would be 13.31. And then 5 inches is going to be 11. So I make sure my fabric is that size before I cut the edges. Once you cut it, you can't see because I've used a collar that is the exact same color as the fabric, but you run it through a sewing machine and do a zigzag stitch just on the whole outer edge. That will keep your fabric from fraying, because it'll just fray and you'll get these strings that come off. Here, I'll show you this corner. So this corner, you can see some of the stitches fraying, but that's all the farther it will run because I have stitched the edge. So I can actually snip those and it isn't going to hurt anything. But that finishes the edge so that when you're framing your piece, you don't have to worry about things unfraying. People stitch them by hand. People stitch them by, by hand using a basting stitch. Some use sewing machines. Some use tape. There is some fabric tapes out there. Some use fabric glues to stop fraying. There's actually some fraying glues that you can put on the edges. I think it's just quick and easy to run it under the sewing machine with a zigzag stitch and be done with it. But you make sure whenever you get a piece that you have enough fabric before you start. At this point, I have stitched probably almost 27 hours on this piece. You don't want to spend 27 hours plus and find out, oh, I don't have enough fabric. That would be horrible. Don't do that. So always take time to plan out how much fabric you need, and make sure if you want extra, fine, put extra fabric on there. Do 7, 8 inches, whatever. But it's definitely, it's heartbreaking. Because there's really not much you can do. You can't add on fabric without it showing, that I'm aware. So we are done with this section of yellow. So I ran that thread under at least 4 stitches. You can do 5 or 6 or more. I typically like to do about 4 or 5. Then we are going to figure out where our next area is. And what's going to be interesting with you choosing yellow, we have this gridding going on here. It's actually going to be filled in with yellow, and that's going to give the definition and texture of what this tentacle size is going to look like. So we are going to start up here. because this, okay, so here's the perfect example. Remember I told you had 2 strands normally? Because I had to cut it, there's no loop. I actually have 2 strands. So this is how you would do it. There are 2 ways. Say you're starting the piece and you don't have anything to run under. You would keep a little bit out and make sure that you stitch it down. We are going to go ahead and run it under other stitches to lock it down because I have no loop. So by doing this, I'm doing a lock to keep it under. Now it is there's hardly any tension here, and I want tension so I don't just pull it out the other side. So I'm going to run it under a few more. Tate, I did see your message, and I will say something in just a minute. I want to finish. So now I have some tension. Now I'm not going to yank on this or it will come out, and you don't want that. So as I come up here and we put in our first stitch, I'm not going, I just enough tension that you can feel it. I could have just put it under that first set and I could have probably felt it just fine and not pulled and yanked it out. But I wanted more tension. I really want to feel it. And the other part is don't lose your thread out of your needle. Or you have to lick and stick again. So, okay, let's read Tate's message here. You're frustrated because TikTok series sent. You're having no luck with these TikTok people. They don't sound like they appreciate the work that you've done. Tate, Insane Tate Elf here. He does some of the graphics. So if you see Queen Snail under my frame, he actually made that Queen Snail so that it does that. Kind of shoots in Queen Snail and the movement. He does a lot of graphics, marketing, production. So very cool, very cool. I was tickled, beyond tickled, still am tickled that I have my little Queen Snail thing going on there. But he does that stuff, and sometimes he is marketing and gives out little pieces to streamers that aren't well known to kind of help them along. But he also, of course, does this as a business, so you can pay to have him do images and intros and all kinds of cool marketing graphic stuff. Ah, well, thank you. You can actually thank Insane Tate Elf for that. He is the one who did that. I adore it. So yes, Insane Tate Elf, why don't you do a shout out for yourself, if you could. He will put a shout out, and that will put a link to him. And then you can go show him some love and but he does all this stuff, and sometimes he gives some gifts out, but there are some people who don't appreciate it. Some people who are paranoid, obviously, thinking it could be a a virus, you know. But you know, he's just a really nice guy with a big heart. He supports us small streamers and supports mental health. A lot of making sure that you have someone to talk to if you're depressed or have a lot going on in your life, bringing recognition to all of that. So you can feel free to check him out. And he's not going to do it. I will. I have a keyboard here. And he does do streaming. He plays games. It looks like he's playing some Rocket League right now. I've seen him in, what is it, Escape from Tarkov or something like that. It's a kind of a shooter game. So we're again working our yellow, back to what I'm doing here. Tarkov. Okay, well, if you know what it is, I play Smite, but I don't stream it. It's just a little too much for my computer setup. Maybe one day I'll have a stronger system. I have a laptop. I don't have a desktop, which is the more powerful of these selections. I'm sure I could update some stuff. But anyhow, so we are filling in our yellow here around this dark purple. Yeah, I have no trouble playing it on the laptop, but streaming, that's just too much pull. So this one, usually these are squares around all of these purple. This one actually cuts off right there to give it some the definition of the curve of the tentacle. So we are going to stop right there and then move back around. I'm actually kind of glad you picked this color because this is going to really fill this tentacle in. It's such a bright color. And right next to that lime green and that dark purple. Brilliant. Great color selection on the pattern designer's part. Those colors all work very well together. So we are completing around the bottom of this square. But we are not going to do that top right corner because again, that is the flow of our tentacle as it curves. And then we are going to move to the bottom square. I hope you all can see what I'm stitching. Okay. Oh, you got a doggo. We love the doggos here. I'm dog obsessed. So before you go, can I know what kind of doggo you have? Well, I'm glad you found me too. And I hope I did provide you some guidance. I'm always here to try to answer questions. He's a mutt. Very good. Mutts are good dogs too. Well, you go take your baby out. Give your fur baby a nice little pat from the queen snail. And love to have you back whenever you're ready. It doesn't matter. In the grand scheme of things, they're just fluffy love bugs. Okay, I will see you next time you're around. Thank you very much for stopping by and following. It was a pleasure to meet and talk with you. So we had Divorced Uncle join us tonight. He's a new follower. I didn't have to talk to myself for a long while, you know, act like a crazy person. But I can do that still, so don't worry. I'm really good at entertaining thyself. This yellow really looks good with this. I'm glad we got the chance to have someone pick a random color. It's Knox. redeemed channel points, which you all should be getting for watching me. These channel points can be used to do certain things. If you click on the little channel point there at the bottom, you get crowns, and you can use those crowns to purchase little perks. I will be adding audios. I have them, but I just have not got them set up for channel point purchase yet. But again, new stream, we'll get there. I'm learning as we go. Oh, I gotta take a drink. So if you are new to the stream and you would like to follow me, you would get notifications when I'm streaming. At this point, I pretty much stream Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights from about 8 to 10, sometimes a little longer. I may throw in a stream here and there. Tate, you are a dork. Yes, you will be addicted to stitching. Don't do it, man. Don't do it. I know, I had to do a test stream to get my audio right, too. Oh, you're so cruel. You are cruel to me. You know where my weak spots are. Watch this. We'll make her really anxious. You're supposed to be supporting mental health. You're gonna put me in a padded room. Yeah, well, so do most men, so. We are humans. We all have weaknesses. So we are going to end up running out of yellow floss and have to get out a new piece and run this one under. Doesn't look like I'm going to get full squares along the edges at all. They're all going to have one piece chopped off, one corner. So this one has the same corner chopped off. So we're going to stop there and start going back the other direction. And we are going to run out of floss. So I'm going to stop right here and lock this under and then continue with this collar in a different area. So we are running this under at least 4 stitches, 5 or 6 as you feel comfortable. Now I'm trying not to pick up the fabric. You want to go between the stitches in the fabric and not pick up the fabric too. I'm going to stab that into my chest. And, oh, that's not the right color, that's orange. So we are going to go ahead and clip our next piece of yellow off of our skein. There's one. I'm going to pull it. We're going to accordion on the back end. And then it will boing out. And I will set that aside again. Not sure if I'm going to need it or not. I'm going to take our ends, put them together. lick and stick and load our needle up. Okay, we are locked and loaded and ready to stitch. Get our loop on, which we do have a loop. Find where we are going up. And where we are going down. Then we are going to flip it over again. Get our loop to the edge. Throw our needle through it. And we are locked in, ready to go. Alright, we are ready to go. We are continuing on with our yellow. When we have this filled in, it's really going to show some definition on this tentacle. This is exciting. I know it doesn't take much, does it? Okay. I don't really want to listen to this song. I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm okay not hearing it. Okay, so this one is just cutting out the corner one again. It's the next one that cuts out a little bit more. So I hope you're getting a good view of this. I'm going to try to make sure I cross all of my X's here, because obviously I've dropped a few now and then. And only if you have been here would you know that I dropped them. So this one, we're actually going to drop 3 stitches. We're not going to do that right top corner. We're going to stitch around. I'm not happy with this song either. Let's see if we can find a different mood. Okay. We are going to continue. Sorry, I had to... You may not even be able to hear the music, but I can hear it, and it's very distracting. I don't need to hear all those cuss words. I'm good. So, we are going to go ahead and... I'm gonna... Oops. Back. We did not need to do these 3 stitches there. I'm going to jump over to this other corner so that we are stitching, and we are going to end near the bottom so that I can continue on the bottom of the next square. Looking good, looking good. Okay, we have a full square we're gonna do, yay. And at the bottom of this, I'm gonna drop down. There's 1 yellow stitch. So we're gonna pick that up while we're down in that area. We're starting to get a twist in our floss, so we're gonna go ahead and untwirl that so that we don't get a knot like I have efficiently gotten multiple times tonight. So I don't know that I'm paying too close of attention on my knotting. See, I think I probably need to bring my camera down here because my head never comes quite up that far. I might consider that. We'll think about it. I mean, maybe you guys just like looking at the top of my head, you know? Probably be easier. I've got that up there with a rubber band and a paper towel. Trying to balance it to get it at the right angle. I might try that next stream. We'll see. Got a week unless I decide to pop in during the week. Do a little bit of stitching. We'll see. Kind of a busy week this week. We got the doggos going in to see the doggy doctor, and my van is going in to get some sort of alignment or something fixed. Front end shaken, so we want to make sure we take care of that. Okay, so the one that we are picking up is... Okay, so it's at the bottom corner here. Alright, so we're going to put it right there in this corner, and then we're going to go back up and finish our X on our complete square. We're going to go ahead and work this top one. Maybe. And this is not a complete as well. This one, oh, I stand corrected. It is a complete square. So our tentacle does have 2 complete squares in it, at least. Looks like maybe 3 or 4. Huh. I'm not afraid. Thank you very much, Running Tree. I appreciate the subscribe tonight. Effing awesome, dude. Have a good night at work. I hope it doesn't cause you any angst tonight. And hopefully I'll talk to you in the morning. You lurked pretty good. I didn't even know you were still here. So everybody, we're saying goodbye to Running Tree. He subscribed for 3 months today, which is awesome. That is the 3rd subscription I've ever had. We're very happy with that. So we're going back around here and we are Xing our stitches to complete them. We're going to get this yellow done tonight. Yeah, buddy. I think it is the only yellow left on the whole piece. Move it over some so I can see the very bottom. And we'll move down to that bottom square. This just really makes this tentacle pop out. I mean, it really is looking completed now. We'll have to get the tail end done. I mean, this tentacle up here is done. So we have one that's done. Okay, so we're moving down here. We're going to kind of work onto the corner, this left corner. And this is as well going to be a complete square. Cannot get my needle to go through there. My goodness. So we're going to work all the way around. And once we get to the end, we'll work it around and get them all X'd. And then we'll see where we get to drop to next. We'll probably go and work that top. Kind of liking the method of working top to bottom, but we'll have to wait and see what the bottom looks like. Yes, if you are here and you would like to follow me, you will get notifications when I am streaming. And we would love to have you come back again. It's where you can speak with me or not. Just sit here and watch the stitching. Listen to me ramble on, or mute me and just watch the stitching. Whichever you prefer. And boy, there's some areas the needle just does not want to pop through the fabric. There must be a lot of floss in this area. I probably have buried some thread ends in this area, so I'm trying to go through those as well. Alright, one more stitch on this and then I'll look at the pattern and find out where we're going next. Alright, we are we're gonna do this top one. And I am gonna start in this bottom corner because after I'm done and I've stitched it all the way around, I'll want to end at the bottom so I can start working on the bottom as well. This will be another full yellow square. It's looking so good. This is, I will say it again, I probably need to put that in the title. I'll try to remember to do that. That this is, you know what? I got a better idea. I am going to teach my butler to repeatedly say what this is every so often, so I don't have to worry about it anymore. What a concept. Put your butler to work. But this is Mandala Octopus from Awesome Pattern Studios. I found them on Etsy. They have lots of mandala animals that you can purchase, so if you have a favorite animal, they probably have it. I myself have purchased probably about 15 different animals. Most of them are aquatic, but I did finish the mandala snail. If you want to join my Discord, which I think my butler will be putting up any time now, you can click in there and see the cross-stitch section, and the mandala snail is featured there. Alright, so now we are going to go to the bottom section. Now this bottom section was kind of cool. This is all connected. So as I start stitching, I am only going to do half stitches, and I'm going to stitch it all the way around. I should probably make Grandma Snail a mod too. I think Grandma Snail could figure out how to type !Discord. In fact, I think anybody could probably do it. I think I have it set to anybody. Who knows? That's what happens when you're new. No, we do not want to become famous. Okay, how did I do this last time? Where's my mods? Ah, this is how I do it. We do not do that in my channel. We do not need to be famous. We are happy with what we are doing. And now I have to drink. This is so I don't get dehydrated, or I will sit here and stitch for 2 hours and never take a drink. So we are going to continue. I will finish this yellow likely and then end the stream because I do have to work tomorrow. But I want to finish the yellow. So, okay, so this goes out to I'm going to have to go ahead and run this under because we are getting low on floss, and we will just start a new strand. So we are going to run this under at least 4. We can do 5 or 6. However many makes you feel comfortable. I like to do about 5. And then we will get one more piece of floss, and that should be all it will take to finish our yellow. I'm going to stitch it, snip it close, but not too close. Here is our yellow. I did not wrap it because I knew we would need some more. I didn't know how much more. I'm going to try to tease out one strand. And we're going to straighten our end there. It will accordion and then boing out. And then we will go ahead and wrap it back on the skein and file it back in our project box. And we are going to, in fact, I think what I'm going to end up doing is when I'm off stream, I will take all of the colors that we no longer need because they are completed, kind of pull them to the side. That way we're just left with the ones that we know we're going to be using, which I should have been doing that the whole time. Don't need to, but it can make things easier. Lick and stick, get our needle locked and loaded, and we are ready to stitch again. And again, we are doing the loop lock. Come up where you want, go down where you're going to need to go down next, come to the back. We are going to find our loop and go through, and that will make sure that it is locked into place. And we will continue. I think I'm going to put an exclamation on the loop lock with my butler as well. See, I'm thinking of all kinds of things for my butler to say to you. So we are going to be, this little piece of floss will actually complete our yellow. So I'm going to go ahead and work this back. And we're going to work up around behind the purple. Yeah, making sure that my stitching is still on camera. Sometimes when I move, I can cut off a piece of the stitching. We don't want to do that. We want you to see what we're doing. Again, I'm only doing half stitches because I'm going to come back and complete those on my way back. You don't have to do this. You can complete every single individual X, or you can work the entire row and then work back and go to the next row. This is just the way I prefer to do it because I guess it gives me a little bit of strategy, keeps my mind going. I'm gonna untwirl my thread just a little bit. I noticed a little bit of a looping going on, which is not in the making. And so we are going to continue. This actually goes right up into the next area. We will work this underneath the purple. This is again the next area with the square. There we go. We're going to go up the back side of this as well. Ooh, I felt the tension on that. And then I'm going to end up working it back. And then we just have to work on the outside here. And finish our X's coming back, and we will be done with the cello. So we actually got quite a bit done. Completely finished the pink. Completely finished the pale violet. Completely finished the yellow. So that's 3 skeins of completely finished items. That's quite a bit. We're going to look and see what I'm supposed to do on this next line. Okay, so it is 2s. So I'm just kind of going to go back and forth here. I don't want to work up and down because that's going to change my directions. And now there's only singles, so I will go ahead and do those 2 singles going up. And then that is it. We will be working back, stitching our X's and completing these stitches. And then we will be done for the evening. I will likely come back at the latest Friday at 8 p.m. If I get a wild hair, I might pop in during the week and do some more stitching on this. Might not. I do have another stitching project that I work offline. If you want to join the Discord channel, you can type !Discord, and that will show you the Discord link. And in there, there's a section for cross stitch, which shows the other piece I'm working offline. I try to post monthly pictures of that so you can see it grow. I have already been working on that for a year now. A year and 1 month. I started February 1st of last year. But I've been pretty busy, so I haven't been able to dedicate all my time to stitching. I have more time to dedicate, so hopefully we will see that grow a little bit quicker. This piece I will only stitch while I am online, so you will only see it grow if you're watching. I want you to join me through the adventure from start to finish on this piece, including all the ones that I have mess ups and have to frog it, rip it out, or I find I got a mistake. Maybe I'm not going to rip it out and how I'm going to fudge it. This is a personal piece, so in the grand scheme of things, I would probably, as I'm being told repeatedly, I'm the only one who knows that that boo-boo is there. I think I went See if I can pull that stitch out. I didn't think so. Alright, and we've got one more stitch here. And is that it? Before I go and cut this? It is. So we are going to go ahead and run that under. And then we are going to snip this thread. And then we are going to put our octopus down and take a far look at it, because when you're working at it so closely, you forget that you're not working on just color pixels. You are actually working on a larger piece. If you hear the dog barking in the background, she is doing that because I actually set my piece down on the desk a little too hard, so it made a knock sound. She's all excited. She thinks someone's here. So I've messed with the doggy. Alright, so here is our Mandala octopus as of today. Look at that. Isn't that so cool? So we filled that in. We filled the top here in. We finished this crossing. We put some of that pink in. What else did we do? Oh, we filled in a piece of this. This is going to be a little loop when we're done. Yep, I think that's it. That's what we've done tonight. But, I mean, this is a huge section that we got completed. And you can really start to see it. Okay, but we are done for tonight. See you at least Friday at 8 p.m. I don't see that I have anyone online to raid at this moment, so I'm just going to go ahead and end the stream. So if you would like to jump and run to some other streamer, please feel free. And I appreciate you hanging out. Appreciate the sub from Running Tree, and we got a few new followers. So we definitely appreciate that we're going to have some new